Good afternoon and welcome to the Healthy Start Lifestyle Improvement Program. And so I am happy to be with you on this day just to be able to share with you some of the health principles that I have learned over the past years of just doing this. And I just want you to know, friends, that you can actually live a very productive, healthy lifestyle. And I'm going to share with you today 7 wrong roads. Well, what are you talking about? 7 wrong roads. Well, have you ever heard of someone going down the wrong road 7 different times? And yet, friends, as Americans, we pride ourselves on being the best fed nation on earth. But we are heading down the wrong road as far as nutrition is concerned. And as a result, we are paying a high price for the privilege and needless disease, disability, and even premature death. So what are we doing wrong? You know, Americans are eating too much of nearly everything nowadays, it seems like. Too much sugar, too much fat, too much cholesterol, too much salt, and we eat too many calories, and you know what? We eat them very often. And I know sometimes when we start talking about food and things of that nature and people start getting sensitive, oh my goodness, here we go again. Friends, I trust you, this is not one of those segments, but the truth of the matter is everyone tends to be satisfied until they get sick and are wondering what could they have done better, especially when they are told, I'm sorry, you don't have much more to live. Well, such abundance has helped lay the foundation for coronary artery disease, stroke, high blood pressure, arthritis, adult onset diabetes, obesity, and severe or several kinds of cancer. Now, these diseases are responsible for 3 out of 4 deaths, and they are related to our lifestyle, especially how we eat. Wow. You know, disease from food, and you must mean pesticides and preservatives. But friends, let me tell you something. Surprisingly, pesticides and preservatives aren't the worst offenders. Now, here are some of the more serious culprits, and we're talking about 7 wrong roads. Number 1, the first wrong road that we often go down, and before we even know it, we end up with all kinds of maladies. The first is sugar. Oh boy, here we go. Now you're dealing with my sweets. Here we go. The National Research Council reports that refined sugars and sweeteners account for up to 20% of many people's daily calories. Now, devoid of fiber and nutrients, refined sugars are empty or naked calories, but because of their calorie density, they are well suited to promote obesity. All right, so that's the first one. The second road is refined foods. Now, this is the thing with these. Now, people used to think refinement was good because it got rid of useless roughage. And now we're learning how necessary fiber is in protecting us from certain cancers, stabilizing blood sugar, controlling weight, preventing gastrointestinal problems such as gallstones and hemorrhoids, diverticulitis, and constipation. All right. So these are some of the things that that oftentimes these what do you call that when we're talking about fibers? These things are good for. But refined foods, friends, again, they are are they really necessary for our consumption of diet and things of that nature? No. What about the third one, which is salt? Most Westerners consume in the excess of 10 grams. That's 2 teaspoons of salt a day. Now, this is 10 times more than is actually needed and constitutes or contributes prominently to high blood pressure, heart failure, and kidney disease. Well, what about fat? That's the fourth one. Most people don't realize that they're consuming 2 to 3 times more fat, oil, and grease than is optimal for good health. As a result, blood vessels what happens? They plug up. Uh, im- im- Impotence sets in, and hearts and brains they suffer. So a high fat diet also contributes to overweight, adult diabetes, and certain cancers. Number five, the fifth wrong road is protein. Now, a diet heavy in meat and animal products provide more protein. Now, I know there are a whole lot of talks about this in the medical realm, whether or not if you actually need meat for protein and or can you get it other places. Well, I'm here to tell you, friends, that you can indeed get this from other places. You don't have to get that from meat. All right. But we can talk about that some other time. So a diet in meat and animal products provide more protein, fat, and cholesterol than the body can use. So Westerners, they eat twice as much protein than is recommended. All right. Scientists are now recognizing that a more natural to traditional diet containing less animal protein and much less fat and cholesterol is essential for improved health and longevity. And basically, friends, you probably have heard this saying before: what you don't know about eating could hurt you. Now, the sixth wrong road is beverages. Now, again, somebody say, "Oh, now you messing with me now," but I have to say it, okay? North Americans don't drink enough water. Instead, the average several servings of soda pop, beer, coffee, tea, and sweet drinks every day, and sweet drinks as well. So, because most of these drinks are loaded with calories from sugar and alcohol, they can play havoc with blood sugar levels and sabotage weight control efforts. So you're trying to lose weight, then you might not want to go this route, okay? Caffeine, uh, you know, phosphates and other chemicals found in beverages, they pose also additional health risk. And then finally, number seven, engineered taste sensations, and this is so much important for as we're discussing this. When you talk about, these seven wrong roads, these very things that happens in our very lives, these engineered taste sensations, they are good diet in a gold mine of detectable and healthful food, and they add, a lot of stuff to our things that we just don't want to deal with. So when you talk about these engineered foods, they're taking place of real food. It has become fashionable for school, daycare centers, even hospitals to make snacks available. The coffee break has become the standard at work, and snacks reign supreme after school and at home. So well planned family meals are now the exception, and snack attacks disrupt digestion, overburden the stomach, and are a frequent cause of bloating and indigestion. So now let me ask you guys this. Is there anything safe to eat, you may ask? Well, I want you to think fruit. Think fruit, almost endless varieties, spectacular color, and even imaginable texture and flavor. Go for vegetables, potatoes, and yams, include legumes, all kinds of beans and lentils and chickpeas in scores of shapes, colors, and flavors. And don't forget the grains such as a whole wheat, brown rice, and oats, which are the mainstay of a good diet and a gold mine of detectable and healthful foods. And add a few nuts also every day. Now, eating a variety of whole plant foods, they will furnish all the fat, protein, fiber, and nutrients the body needs. It is also ecologically sensitive and will cut your food budget also, friends, in half. So sometimes people, you've heard this, well, it's expensive to eat healthy, friends. It may be so in some sense, but it will cut your budget in half. And again, we'll explain this at another time in another program as to why that is. All right. The best news is that this kind of dietary lifestyle helps delay, arrest, and reverse, and often prevents the onset of most Western killer diseases. Now, eating full fiber plant foods not only allow people to eat larger quantities of food without having to worry about weight gain. Now, friends, this is amazing. When you're thinking of losing weight, you actually eat more and weigh less. You know, sometimes when we're thinking about weight loss, we often think about, oh man, I got to refrain from this. And no, it's just, the issue is not so much what you eat, but no, the issue is not so, yeah, the issue is not so much what you eat. The issue is the kinds of foods that we're putting into our bodies. So eating full fiber plant foods not only allow people to eat larger quantities of food without having to worry about weight gain, but also can promote optimum health and energy for a lifetime. Now let me just share this with you. Too much sugar, too much refined foods, too much fat, salt, fat, protein, beverages, and snacks in your diet, it's a deadly mix. Only by eating less of these substances and eating more whole plant foods can we enjoy optimum health and energy. So let me share this with you, but the master healer never passes by a human being as worthless, and we can't either. With a restored sense of self-worth, we become willing to take risk. And taking risk and loving others is what life is all about. Oh, friends, these are the 7 deadly roads that we often travel, but that's cutting many of our lives short. Oh, stay tuned, because we got some more good news coming to you as it relates to your health. You don't have to, oh my goodness, man, you're trying to tell me. No, friends, I don't believe in trying to dictate to people what they should or should not eat. As a matter of fact, that's your business. But because I love you, I believe that it is my duty to share with you some of these things that have been plaguing our community, especially the African American community, in these things. Now, I want to show you a video. This is one of my favorite videos. You will love this because it speaks true to many of us that are dealing with this kind of disease. And I believe, and this is just my belief, I believe that all chronic diseases can be reversed. And so I'm going to show you a video right now. I want you to look at it, ponder it, and then right after that, we will close.
People often ask me about, my diabetes diagnosis and, what did I do to deal with it? I felt as though, this is part of getting older. We heard these stories before, you get older, you're supposed to get some form of chronic disease. And there was almost a surrender until the vision loss. It was like a wake-up call and say, you know what, if I'm going to have to lose this war of health, it's not going to be without a battle. I went to my computer and Googled, reversing diabetes. And I was just hoping to get a glimpse in what's in the universe of slowing down the progression of, how could I slow down my eye loss? How could I slow down the nerve damage? How do I slow it down? But when I started to see the R term used over and over again, reversal, 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 and I started reading some of the stories, I said, you know what, something may be to this. And that is when I started the journey of saying, you know what, it's no more living with, it was about reversing, and I moved in that direction. 3 weeks after that, my eyesight cleared up. My ophthalmologist said, what did you do? What happened here? Because she told me to turn in my driver's license. She stated that you are no longer legally able to drive, And 3 months after following the diet, my blood pressure normalized. My A1C went down to a 5.7 to a pre-diabetes level. The ulcer went away. The nerve damage in my hands and feet went away. The numbness in my thigh went away. It was just amazing, that how fast the body responded.
It was never my DNA, it was my dinner. Mother joined me at the age of 80, 15 years as a diabetic, 7 years on insulin, 2 months going whole food, plant-based, threw her insulin away.
I'm happier now. Yes, I'm happier now, and I learned a lot to know that I don't have to eat all that meat and all those unnecessary things that I was eating if it wasn't for my wellness, it was horrible for me to be eating like that. I would be bloated, and I would feel uncomfortable. That's the best thing I could ever did for myself. Yes.
The body is like saying, I want to heal you. But every time I try to, you're making sure that you give me more poison to prevent me from doing my job. And all I did was get out of my body's way.
Yes, friends. Yes, so there you have it. It is very possible if we will only put the right kind of fuel or foods in our body. Friends, this comes to an end of our show, but guess what? You can take charge of your life today. Make a decision that today you are going to take charge of your life. You don't have to succumb to many of these illnesses that are plaguing many of our communities. You right now, today, if you will just say, I am going to take charge of my life, then you can begin a journey, friends, of adding more years to your life. And friends, until then, have a wonderful, wonderful day.